What is up, YouTube? This is your boy Ligo, one half of Endo, and here's another drive time. I ain't done one in a while, so why not? As I kind of explained on my last podcast. But other than that, new setup, like it. Nice. Only got a couple miles on it. Anyway, that's bragging. But let's move on to the point. I don't follow people's trends really to say, so I'm gonna do my own thing and call it my own thing. So this is really an add-on to MIzzahTEE's video about the 8th generation that he did. I agree with most of what he said, but I'm gonna differentiate a little things different. But shout outs to MIzzahTEE. I did a video about this, of course, called "Why Do Gamers Wake the F Up?" about software and stuff like that. And I even got a video about 8th generation. I talked about that. And the sad part about it is, like, we're not talking about games no more. As you say, we're talking about consoles, and that's what I've been talking about. We are not talking about the stuff that makes us why we love this hobby of ours. We're not talking about why you play that game, why you love that game. Oh man, that game is awesome, this and this. It's not my cup of tea, but hey, that's pretty cool, and blah blah blah. We talk about this stuff. Now, I granted, my endcast is no better than most people when we talk about certain topics, just like the random talk last night. We talk about some of this stuff, but but if you go to it, random cast number 15, we talked about games. Me and Red jumped into a whole thing about True Crimes of LA and why we liked it and what was fun, and what happened to the 3. We talked about the business side and stuff like that. That's what you're gonna get with us, that we are more business centric, me and Red or whatever like that. But it's about the games. That's why I went to talk about Hyrule Legends and Hyrule Warriors and why is the difference between the one for the Wii U and the 3DS. Like, I could talk about games, but we're not talking about that no. That's why we had Razor Fist at his joke about Sony when he was now everybody knows his ending tag is God effing speed. But he said, sell me some games, sell me some goddamn games. That's what he said. That's what's going on, and all this power that everybody's talking about. Shout outs to Andre when he talked about that in his rant. We're not getting all this. We're getting this little tiny bump in graphical fidelity, and we're not talking about physics. We're not talking about AI. And you know what? I explained a little bit on the AI for when Kuroshi asked a question about the AI and power and all that stuff. Well, how you do it? Again, even though I'm a fake insider, whatever. And again, to anybody like that, again, I don't force you to watch my stuff. If you want to watch, you're watching. And if you want to prove me wrong, I ain't got no problem being proved wrong, and you give me the proof, and I'm like, you know what? I'll gladly sit on my video and say I was wrong about it. I've done it before, and it's nothing new to me. I'm not that inconsiderate and my egos can't be checked like that. But if you're gonna do that about the games. You don't believe me, but my videos have proven my point time and time again and again and again. So I ain't gotta worry about what some of these guys peons want to say. Do what you gotta do, dude. It doesn't bother me. Yeah, make 50 videos about it. I should not 50 videos about it. I don't care. But getting to the topic at hand, the games is, there's nothing happening in the game industry. It's stagnating. Once again, it is. We used to have different genres all the time being on top, and we circulate. But shooters have been on top since basically the 6th generation. Selling games, and it's getting stagnant. And with a new crop of games that got introduced in the 7th gen, they think that shooters are the number one, so they have not looked in for new ideas and new ways to play games. That's why I would say once and I'll say it again on the podcast. I regurgitate stuff because I said it before, and you could go check it out and see that I was not lying. That's why I said on the podcast, Resident Evil 7 don't look like it's gonna interest me, but I'm not shutting it down. I'm not making a rant video. I'm not saying, oh, this game sucked, this is not a Resident Evil I wanted. No. And that's why I think you Metroid fans or Mario Splash or all the other people, you want the series to continue down the road, and later on you're gonna say, oh, it's stagnant. No, I have no problem with nobody. The producers, the developers who are on IPs come with a new idea. If it works, it works. If it don't, it don't. You buy what you buy. That's what you like. So that's what I'm saying. I can't argue preference. There are people out there who love No Man's Sky. It was marketed the wrong way, but it's still people out there who enjoy it and love it. That's what is the whole point about it. But we should have more place for ideas. How the hell we have more ideas in the earlier generations, and now we get more and more power that we don't have these ideas in these games? Now that's the one part I disagree with MIzzahTEE on, because he said that in there, and I might in case I misquote him, and he's saying that these consoles have tapped out before we got the Neo and the Scorpio and all the Slim and whatever. These consoles have not tapped out. They have not reached their full potential at all, because a lot of them developers, designers now have the power, have this thing about power, more computing processing is gonna make better games, and they have not shown that. They have shown that you could do visual stunning stuff. That's okay, but that's not all the pieces of the pie to make a game. That's one of my things I'm gonna talk about when I'm doing the video about it, and I've said it before. Power does not create great games. Because there are games that are 100 times better that's like don't have the visual aspect or the physics engine and all that stuff. Is it fun to play? That's what it's supposed to be about. Fun. Is it engaging? It makes your mind think. And the different genres of games. There's puzzles, there's shooters, there's fighters, there's beat 'em ups. There are a lot of genres that died off because people are scared to go in it. These guys have not tapped into these consoles at all. The Wii has. The Wii U has, because Nintendo showed you could do this and that. I don't even think the Wii U has shown its full potential already. Xenoblade is a good setup, and they work hard and optimize for that console. But I could think you could do a lot more stuff in the Wii U. Well, Better Than Wild might show us that. But I don't think nobody tapped into full power of Xbox One and a PlayStation 4. No, they have not. Because these developers don't have like what all the developers had. The old school developers who I adore and I admire, because they work with something called limitations, which means, oh wow, I can't do this, but let me figure out a way, get those creative juices going to figure out a way to make a game. And when that happens, sometimes you might figure out, you know what? I figured out a way, as Factor 5 did with when it worked on the GameCube. I figured out a way to work this around. Hey, I want to do this graphically and do this with this game and putting this sound effect in. You add more stuff because your juices is flowing. And right now, it's just that these guys are given the tools, and they say, okay, his tool is this, is that, and that's it. A mechanic, if a mediocre person could do good things with good tools, but can't do great things because they don't know what the heck is going on. But a great mechanic can do great things with good tools or with bad tools, because they figure out ways to get around to get the stuff to work. That's the difference. That's the problem, what's going on in game designs as well too. The 8th generation is fall apart. We're not talking about games. Software on one console is outperforming software on the other consoles. As I said in the podcast that came out, and you can please go check it out, the random top 15. People are asking third parties. I don't know what these gamers talking this stuff. What third supplier is supposed to dictate what a main supplier do? That's crazy. That shouldn't happen. It really shouldn't. So I don't get it. So people don't understand that business talk, and if you do that, that's when you mess yourself up. But other than that, you know what I mean? Like I said, I'm going to my friend's house before I go to the studio tonight. My fake job, but for real, think about what's going on there. And like I said, keep an eye out. In no time soon, I'm still working on it. I got a lot of stuff to do, but keep an eye out for BTG, behind the games. That's my series I want to talk about. I changed it because I think it's a little better. And this is an add-on, not a responsibility, because it's a positive video in a regard, and add it on to what MIzzahTEE is saying. And that's what this is my idea. This is what I'm gonna call the add-on videos. I don't know if a response, but if an add-on is an add-on to say, because you know what, you're right, but I think you miss a few little points, but I agree with you mostly. So that's what I'm gonna do. So people, seriously, I mean, MIzzahTEE, check out his video. I'll put the link to his video in this description, and also I'll put a link to Andre's video in the description. You could check it out and see what they were talking about. But like I said, disagree with MIzzahTEE to one point, is that these consoles are has not been tapped out, has not been fully optimized, and because none of the games been fully optimized. Still is. Why does Tetris, a simple game, can't work on a PlayStation 4? Because developers and publishers, the same. That's why I did that thing with the little skit and the Fall of 8th Gen, and I'll put that video in a link. Just watch the first part. That part of the video shows you that publishers don't give a damn. Game is all about the money, and we all know, as I said last night with Red Fox, and he's right. All of us as a business person, even me, yes, we all want to spend less money and maximize profit. We all do. But here's the thing though, we still need to have a product that is quality. Something that our consumers can say, this is a quality product, I am happy that you see it. And we are not getting quality. We are not. All the people who are doing this quality stuff is indie games, some small third-party developers, not all of them, not the big ones, because there are cool ones that comes out, nobody freaking plays them, or Sunset Overdrive and Insomniac with their games and stuff. What about those? Those are good. They were optimized, no problems. And indies is taking over now again, but they could get to a point where indies gonna start getting cocky, as we already done see the guy who did Ori and the Blind Forest bitched down Nintendo for not giving him a free dev kit. You getting cocky. And that's what's going on. We got gamers that are entitled. That's why when on Dr. Feelgood, you go check out, you go ask Doc, when he said, what's the worst thing about 8th generation? Everybody else went before me and said this and this and this. I said gamers. We got entitled gamers and we're getting cocky developers. And that's what's going on. And we're not talking about the issues at hand. We're just talking about, we're supposed to be talking about games and having fun about it, okay? So with that said, you know my normal stance. If you want to, there's no perfect game out there. What's perfect to you is not perfect to me. What's perfect to me is not perfect to you. Simply play them games on any console and enjoy them. Peace out.